roll call of the meeting of the members of the Committee on Justice. Honorable Attorney Jervil G. Bitrix R. Luistro, Honorable Mauricio G. Dumogan, Honorable Attorney Danilo Dani A. Domingo, Honorable Jennifer A. Lagbas, Honorable Alfredo A. Garbin Jr., Honorable Brian Poe, Honorable Jose C. Alvarez, Honorable Jonathan Kit A. Flores, Honorable Isabel Maria J. Zamora, Honorable Aniela Bianca D. Tolentino, Honorable Laarni Lavin Roque, Honorable Franz Vincent F. Legaspi, Honorable Emilio P. Tanuaco III, Honorable King George Leandro Antonio D. Collantes, Honorable Ana York P. Bondoc, Honorable Loreto S. Amante, Honorable Jose Joboy S. Aquino II, Honorable Joel R. Chua, Honorable Ernesto M. Junicio Jr., Honorable Arnan C. Panaligan, Honorable Lordan G. Suwan, Honorable Patrick Michael D. Vargas, Honorable Emerson D. Pascual, Honorable Munir M. Arbison, Honorable Janice Degamo, Honorable Bienvenido M. Abante Jr., Honorable Jude A. Asidre, Honorable Bernadette S. Barbers, Honorable Rufus P. Rodriguez, Honorable Chino Miguel B. Almario, Honorable Micaela Angela B. Swansing, Honorable Ramon Rodrigo L. Gutierrez, Honorable Maria Rene Ann Lourdes G. Matibag, Honorable John Attorney J.P. Padiernos, Honorable Terry L. Vidon, Honorable Alan U.P., Honorable Rene Luis M. Co., Honorable Jose Manuel Tadeo Chel I. Diokno, Honorable Sarah Jane I. Elago, Honorable Francisco Paulo P. Ortega V, Honorable Jefferson F. Ponghun, Honorable Gil Cabarangay Jr. Acosta, Honorable Jose Bong J. Teves Jr., Honorable Edgar R. Elise, Honorable Laila M. De Lima, and Honorable Percival Percy Sendanya. Your Honor, there are 14 regular members of the committee present and 7 ex-officio members present.
Having 14 present regular members and 7 present ex-officio members, the rule requiring only 1/5 of the membership and the ex-officio to be present to constitute a quorum. The chair now declares the presence of a quorum. The chair will address the Justice Committee. Today, March 2, we convene the Committee on Justice to discharge a solemn constitutional duty. That is to begin our consideration of 4 impeachment complaints filed against the Vice President of the Republic. Just last week, all 4 complaints were simultaneously referred to this committee. Under the Constitution, it is the exclusive mandate of this committee to hear these matters and by a majority vote of all its members, submit a report to the House. That mandate is not optional. It is not seasonal. It is not subject to fatigue. It is a duty. And constitutional duties do not expire simply because public discourse grows weary. Some have asked, are we not tired of impeachment? Hindi ba tayo napapagod? Admittedly, we have undergone impeachment proceedings against the Vice President last year. And early this year, we also evaluated complaints against the President. So yes, public fatigue may be understandable. But the answer, my dear colleagues, is simple. The Constitution does not get tired. The rule of law does not get tired. Accountability does not get tired. If an impeachment complaint is filed and referred to this committee, we must examine it. There is no option to ignore these complaints. And as I said a while ago, we must fulfill this duty. No condition, no hesitation, walang palusot. Hindi tayo maaaring umiwas. Hindi maaaring umurong. Hindi maaaring magbulag-bulagan. Ang tungkulin ay hindi pinipili. Ito ay ginagampanan. Lalo na ngayong panahon na laganap ang fake news, mas lalo tayong dapat maging maingat at matatag. Mas lalong hindi magpapatinag. Kapag kumakalat ang fake news, hindi sapat ang manahimik. Ang tamang sagot ay wastong proseso. Ang kailangan natin simulan itong proseso ng pagsusuri nang sa gayon ay magkaroon tayo ng linaw at hindi maligaw sa maling impormasyon. So let me say this clearly. Impeachment is a constitutional process, not a social media contest. Hindi hashtag ang magpapasya dito. Hindi memes ang maghahatol. Hindi ito paramihan ng like. There are claims circulating that these impeachment complaints are merely recycled accusations already dismissed by the Supreme Court. Let us correct that firmly and factually. The Supreme Court did not rule on the merits of the allegations. It did not conduct a trial. It did not weigh evidence. It did not absolve anyone of wrongdoing. The court itself clarified that its ruling was limited to the constitutional one-year bar rule. It emphasized that it did not absolve the Vice President from any of the charges. Those are not my words. Those are the Supreme Court's own clarifications. To suggest, therefore, that the allegations have already been resolved on the merits is legally incorrect. Malinaw sa desisyon ng Korte Suprema na naging pasya nito ay nakatuon lamang sa one-year bar rule. Isang usaping teknikal. Hindi ito paghatol sa nilalaman ng mga reklamo. Hindi ito deklarasyon na walang sala ang Vice-Presidente. And let us confront the larger question. If we decline to proceed simply because of Supreme Court's ruling or just because of all the noise, how are we to hold the highest officials of the land accountable? Kung hindi tayo gagalaw ngayon, paano natin pananagutin ang mga pinakamataas na opisyal ng bansa? The Constitution provides only one mechanism for pressing serious allegations against impeachable officials. and that is by way of impeachment. Iyan ang itinakdang proseso. Iyan ang malinaw na landas. There is no alternative forum, no parallel mechanism, no detour, no easy way out. If we refuse to properly examine the impeachment complaints before us, we are not preserving stability. We are weakening accountability. So, my dear colleagues, let us discharge this duty. Walang shortcut. Walang paunang paghuhusga. Tanging katapatan lamang sa saligang batas. Now, 4 impeachment complaints have been filed and simultaneously referred to this committee. The first complaint consists of 43 pages and bears the signatures of 45 complainants, with Francisca Franz Castro listed first. It cites 3 grounds for impeachment, all framed as betrayal of public trust. It was endorsed by Representative Antonio Tino, Representative Sara Jane Ilago, and Representative Rene Luis Co. The second impeachment spans 41 pages, signed by 17 complainants. First among them, Francis Joseph Aquino D. It presents 5 grounds for impeachment, structured as Articles 1 through 5. It was endorsed by Representative Percival Sendanya and Representative Laila de Lima. The third complaint, it runs 98 pages, signed by 13 complainants, with Reverend Father Joel Sabalia appearing first. It alleges 6 grounds for impeachment and was endorsed by Representative Laila de Lima. The last, the fourth impeachment complaint. It consists 72 pages, filed by a single complainant, Attorney Nathaniel Cabrera. It sets out 7 articles of impeachment and was endorsed by Representative Bienvenido Abante Jr. and Deputy Speaker Francisco Paulo Ortega V. Our task now is to discharge our duties, to examine, to scrutinize, and to evaluate these 4 impeachment complaints. Ang tungkulin natin ngayon ay malinaw. Suriin ng patas at may integridad ang bawat reklamo. Today, we begin with sufficiency in form. At this stage, we are not weighing evidence. We are not determining guilt. We are simply asking procedural questions. Are the complaints properly verified? Do they comply with the requirements